Music, dance, art, craft, drama. The Caribbean possesses a rich and extensive cultural diversity that can hardly be rivaled by any other geographic region. With a history that spans centuries and includes influences from all over the world, the variety in culture reflects the myriad of races and ethnicities that coexist and contribute to the electrifying Caribbean cultural experience. It only takes a 30, 40 or 60 minutes plane ride to land you on the doorstep of a Caribbean neighbor. However, due to geographic isolation, language differences, along with the differences in economies and social behaviors of Caribbean countries, cultural integration and exchange have proven to be a challenge, giving birth to Caribnet.
Oh, hi! In the whole world, I have the best family, but I want you to guess this answer quickly. Which one of us is most obedient to Mommy, who never answers her back but sits down quietly? You guessed it right. Not me, Daddy!
Caribnet is a network, right? Caribbean network of arts presenters. So it's comprised of both individuals who are involved in the arts, as well as organizations and institutions involved in the arts. Essentially, the Caribnet is about the different language areas in the Caribbean, right, coming together in terms of the arts to create work and to create exchanges for the development of the arts.
The tambourine, as we all might have known, is indigenous to Tobago, and it originated when the slave masters would have been behind the drums, the djembe and these kind of drums. And it was a quick thought as to make smaller drums that could be hidden easier. On the drums, as you may know, we have the boom, that keeping the straight 4. That the timing like 1, 2, 3, 4, that plays like that. Boom, boom, keeping the timing. The cutter is the fancy one that does give you the shots. And the roller is the mixture between the cutter and the boom. So instead of having a vacant space, the drumming always together. Then the violin, which we call the fiddle, carries the melodies.
Indigenous only to Tobago, the unique tuning of these drum skins by fire and enticing rhythms of the tambourine music could easily be lost in Tobago without proper regional cultural organization. Caribnet intends to bridge this gap. Its main goal is to provide greater integration of artists from the Caribbean, while celebrating the diversity in cultures, language and artistic manifestation in all artistic disciplines.
Kamakuka means crossroads of the Caribbean Amazonian cultural market that doesn't really exist, but we want to organize something around this.
One of the things that we do is to have a database of all of our members. So the database says exactly what they do, what their specialty is, and also provides opportunities for collaboration throughout the region with the different artists. So with Kamakuka, it's kind of like expanding it now from just the Caribnet database, which is mainly the Spanish, English, and Dutch-speaking Caribbean, and going a little bit further into the French territories as well. So we're really trying to expand our reach in a sense.
The main goal is to have common speech together to defend the culture as an economic motor, and that authorities and politics really work with us to make so that the artists can make a living of a culture.
No woman, no cry, no No woman, no cry. Oh, no woman, no cry. Yeah. No woman. Oh, yeah.
On a mission to provide a platform for the promotion of Caribbean art within and outside of the region through exchange of information, performances, exhibitions, events, and cultural activities, the Cultural Hub Tobago was the chosen destination for Caribnet's annual meeting. Spearheaded by President Roy Gibbons, representatives from St. Lucia, Barbados, Martinique, Puerto Rico, Trinidad all met to plan and chart the agenda to fulfill Caribnet's vision. Workshops were provided to encourage and promote cultural education.
The workshop today was looking at the business of art. Some of the issues that we looked at was basically how we put together a professional portfolio. Coming out of it, one of the strong points was about this networking thing. And I think Caribnet does speak to the networking amongst the Caribbean artistic practitioners. So I think this year is really not only about building the awareness and capacity here, but also how even right here in Tobago we can start networking with some of these people in the Caribbean. And I think it started even today. Right here people suddenly realize there were other people who were doing X or Y. So I think from that perspective, I think we need to have more of this.
The workshop was very informative. The information there, as basic as it may seem, it's very practical to we within the cultural industry. It's practical knowledge that you should have in an effort to perhaps it could be applicable to your own self as an artist in whatever field you are within the industry, to promote yourself, promote your work.
Yeah, appreciate knowledge is more information, important information, and I get to meet some different people, which is important.
The issue of value for money, how do we raise our game as artists? Also, do we see ourselves in the 116 cubicle, or do we see ourselves as global players? And the fact that there are many opportunities for artists here, not only here, but certainly on the international scene. And finally, how does business, technology, and the arts meet, and where they meet, what are the benefits to accrue from that? So I think it was a worthwhile discussion. We weren't able to cover all the issues, but I think we were able to at least stir the imagination and stir the minds, and also to make sure that people start taking themselves seriously as artists.
This information was very useful because for my field, the area that I work in, I do fabric design, and I thought that I was the only person doing indigo in Tobago, natural indigo. And I did get some information. It was useful because there's another person here who gave me some information that I did not know about, so it was useful, and I see the value in networking.
The masks I do for the simple reason that I'm a little obsessed by masks and mask making, but it's also one of the primary forms of human creativity. When you walk into caves and you discover paintings from 8,000 years ago, you discover not only the representation of human beings, not only the representation of animals that they might be hunting, you also see people using masks to entertain themselves, to recreate the hunt or recreate the events of their daily life through masks and masquerading.
I learned how to make masks, and I like that everyone was working together and stuff, It was fun at first. I thought it was kind of boring, but as I started to get along, I didn't really know what to do. Then as I started to paint, I enjoyed it.
You discover that all classical forms of theater, not only Greece and Rome, but also the classical theaters of India, China, Japan, Indonesia, and of course the carnival, mumming, masquerade, and theater traditions of Africa are all based on wearing masks.
I enjoyed it in many ways. The name of my mask is Many Colors.
I found it was fun. I got to learn that you can make masks out of any material you like, and it's best to use recycled materials like bottles, cardboard, and other stuff like that. My mask is pretty much, you could interpret it any way you want. You could interpret it as an African kind of thingy, or you could say it's Mayan, and you could just whatever picture comes to your mind when you see it, that's how it is.
This morning there was a workshop entitled Theatre Arts in CXC. The lecturer, he was a lecturer from UWI. He was basically speaking about theatre arts in terms of the SBA.
It was a very educational experience because we learned about critique and how to research papers as our interviews, and not just pull stuff off from anywhere. We have to actually do it, and it was a knowledgeable experience.
He was trying to enlighten us as to how to go about doing the SBA, what is the requirements, how it should be structured, the way in which we should conceptualize and put it into thought, and how we should present it towards the teachers. It was a very informative lecture. I hope to pursue a degree in dance at the University of West Indies sometime in the near future.
A scrap doll. First of all, we use brown cotton. So, like how we have these strips here, right? 1 yard of brown cotton, you strip it up. So we have all these strips here. That is the first part of the process. We sort of put it together, something looking like this. We have this doll, which is actually almost finished. So we do the head tie, we do a top, we do a skirt. After all of that, we put in the eyes, nose, and the mouth. And we have a finished doll, which looks like this.
Today's workshop was very nice, and I would like to make one of these again. And it was so nice to make a doll, and I never make a craft doll in my life.
The name of my doll is Chelsea, and my doll is special to me because I made it myself, and it means a lot.
I find today's workshop was fun to make the dolls. I always wanted to make a doll when I was a little girl. I was glad that I had time to do it today.
I enjoy making a doll today because I always wanted to make a doll and I didn't know how, and today I learned how to make one.
As a not-for-profit organization, Caribnet relies heavily on the support of governments and other supporters of culture and the arts for funding. The commitment and dedication of its members often results in a certain degree of self-financing. However, the richness of the Caribbean history, which has resulted in an even richer cultural diversity, demands for greater collaboration, integration, and unity. Without the platform for sharing and exchange, Unique and indigenous art forms such as Tobago's tambourine music risk being undiscovered and unknown.